In the 1970s, a wave of action cinema exported high-flying kicks, rapid strikes, and a specific phrase to millions of Western moviegoers. The global audience watched these kinetic fight sequences and associated them with one term, kung fu. This infographic breaks down the original Chinese language. The term kung fu translates to a skill acquired through hard work and practice over a long period. A master calligrapher or a dedicated mechanic possesses kung fu. The term inherently has nothing to do with combat. The modern association is a product of 20th century media. Western movie dubs and English subtitles repeatedly mapped the phrase onto Chinese fighting styles, permanently linking a broad concept of discipline to martial arts. The historically accurate term for Chinese martial arts is wushu, or zhenghua wu, which translates directly to martial art. If the very name the West uses to identify these fighting styles is a Hollywood byproduct, it obscures the actual scale of the discipline. We are looking at a deeply documented, 4,000-year history that stretches far beyond the boundaries of a movie set. To understand the actual history of wushu, we have to strip away the cinematic fiction. The origins lie in ancient warfare, in environmental survival, and cultural defiance. Modern practitioners often view martial arts through a lens of meditative philosophy. The archaeological record shows a different origin. In Paleolithic China, early humans developed rudimentary combat tactics strictly to survive encounters with wild beasts and rival tribes. Intertribal warfare accelerated the production of lethal technology. Moving from the Neolithic age through the early dynasties, combatants drove the invention of the 5 weapons, which included early daggers, axes, and bronze swords engineered specifically for battlefield execution. By 495 AD, the Shaolin Temple was founded in Henan Province. In popular culture, this site is depicted as a quiet sanctuary for peaceful monks practicing unarmed self-defense. Historical documents point to a much more militant reality. The Shaolin monks served as an elite, institutionalized military force. In 621 AD, records detail their lethal combat operations during the Battle of Hulao, where they assisted in defeating a rebel general. Between the 16th and 17th centuries, Shaolin combat techniques were codified. The Ming Dynasty general Qi Ji documented Shaolin martial efficiency in his military treatises, formalizing a fighting system that would spread across East Asia. Only later did masters weave spiritual texts and Taoist meditative breathing into the discipline. The philosophical framework was overlaid onto a foundation explicitly engineered for lethal military efficiency. Chinese martial arts do not function as a single homogeneous fighting style. Across the vast landmass of China, regional climates and diverse terrains strictly dictated the physics of how a person fought. This topographical map illustrates the geographic divide. In the wide open plains of the north, fighters developed the northern leg system. The flat terrain allowed for long-range engagements, high leaps, and wide stances, maximizing a fighter's reach. The southern environment presented a stark contrast. The terrain is characterized by humid weather and confined, densely populated river delta towns, severely restricting a fighter's movement. This lack of space forged the southern fists. Fighters relied on low, grounded stances and generated force through the waist to execute explosive, short-range hand strikes that functioned efficiently in tight quarters. High kicks in the north and rapid hand strikes in the south emerged as strict evolutionary adaptations to the environment. Hollywood cinema has historically populated its martial arts epics with male protagonists. The historical record highlights the foundational role of female grandmasters. During the 5th century BCE, Yuan Yu, known as the Lady of Yu, established a legendary reputation as a swordswoman, reportedly defeating thousands of opponents in tournaments run by the Zhou Kingdom. Yuan Yu detailed a deeply strategic combat philosophy. She instructed fighters to maintain a calm, deliberately weak exterior appearance, lulling opponents into a false sense of security before unleashing sudden, vicious power. Centuries later, in the early 1700s, Mui emerged as one of the top 5 martial artists in China. Though proficient in existing styles, she recognized the need for a more efficient fighting method that did not rely on brute strength. Observing the defensive movements of animals, Amui created the Wing Chun system. She prioritized leverage, timing, and precise angles over raw physical power. By utilizing leverage and strategy, these women engineered combat systems specifically designed to neutralize the biological size and strength advantages of male opponents. By the 1920s and 1930s, top martial artists began exchanging techniques. Grandmasters found that integrating the long-range reach of Northern styles with the grounded, explosive power of Southern systems produced highly effective, undefeated fighting forms. The Chinese government subsequently classified these diverse regional styles. They standardized the ancient techniques into the regulated, competitive sporting events of modern wushu. These optimized 4,000-year-old combat systems required a massive distribution network to reach a global audience. They found it in the dense, neon-lit environment of 1970s Hong Kong. Film studios like Shaw Brothers and Golden Harvest hired real martial arts practitioners and local choreographers, rapidly packaging authentic techniques into highly exportable action cinema. Bruce Lee rejected the stylized theatricality of early films. He introduced a brutal, tense authenticity to the screen, channeling regional pride and anti-colonial defiance into every strike. Following Lee, performers like Jackie Chan evolved the formula again, merging authentic combat history with elaborate, high-risk physical comedy. The global phenomenon of martial arts cinema rests on millennia of human survival, geographic adaptation, and cultural resilience. Let us know in the comments which martial arts film first introduced you to this 4,000-year legacy.